Hey everyone, welcome back to the Vestibule of Heck podcast, episode 5. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Mitchell.
And fifth episode, we did it.
Yeah, I'm proud you got that. You got that right.
I did. In my notes, inside baseball already. It's been 10 seconds. I accidentally wrote the wrong number on our notes, and I'm like, I'm not going to change that. But I hope I don't screw it up because we go for quality on this podcast. We do everything to make sure that we get the utmost quality in everything that we do.
Yeah, sure. Let's
let's go with that.
Start off with inside baseball and lies.
And that's and look, we already have the fucking podcast title. All right, play the outro, and we're done here. What'd you do this week?
I worked again as always. Haven't quit that yet.
Oh boy.
And then I rushed a stream of consciousness article that took me on a wild ride.
I loved your article. I'm just gonna real quick. This week I didn't do anything of note. So ever. I actually do nothing of note. I got real drunk yesterday. That was pretty fun. Yeah, we started playing beer pong in the house again because we kind of took a break from it for a little while because we played it so much. But I really like beer pong.
I'm a big fan.
It's fun and it's interesting.
Anything that provides me a backdrop and or an excuse to drink, all in.
Yeah, I've also been. Remember, the other week I was telling you that I was practicing chugging beers because I wasn't good at it.
Yeah, practicing.
I am now proficient. I can kill an entire can without stopping.
Your mother must be so proud.
My mother is none the wiser. So let's talk about your article this week.
What about it?
You hate steak.
Yeah, sure.
And rap isn't music.
Yeah, well, I mean that's. We'll get to that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I never actually said I hate steak. I just said I equally enjoy a disgusting $1 cheeseburger from McDonald's in certain circumstances.
Oh God, yeah. I think that's people will give me a lot back to beer apparently. People give me a lot of flack for some of the beers I drink. Because I'm not always drinking really good beer. My favorite beer, my favorite good beer is Guinness. I love Guinness. The Irish in me loves Guinness. But a lot of the times I'll opt for cheaper beers. I get PBR and Bud Light, Budweiser, Coors, that kind of level of beer. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I mean it's fine. Like I said, and here's the thing about the article this week. It was originally just supposed to be a lighthearted little piece about, how everything has its merits and how, just because something is not as high quality doesn't mean you can't enjoy it under given circumstances or whatever. Kind of got away from me, but that was my main point. And yeah, it works for beer too. Just because it's not a, craft beer doesn't mean it won't get you fucking drunk.
Yeah, and that's the point. All food fills you up. It will all satisfy your hunger. One thing food might not do, I don't know if I'm going to call this food. Are you aware of Nutrient Loaf?
Oh yeah, of course I am.
For all of our listeners who are not familiar with what Nutrient Loaf is, Nutrient Loaf is something that they give to prisoners.
It's a fucking punishment.
A punishment. Well, right. It's a punishment for prisoners who often weaponize their fecal matter. The reason they give them this thing called Nutrient Loaf, it is the perfectly blended, perfectly blended. It's a loaf. It looks like meatloaf almost, like rigid meatloaf, and it gives your body only exactly what it needs, and it will produce zero waste, or very minimal waste.
Yeah, very very minimal.
Negligible waste.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to make a hard zero, but
and the other I don't know, probably a couple months ago, it was before the summer. So last spring, me and some of the guys up here at school, we bought some off the internet.
Really?
We tried Nutrient
I didn't even
Loaf.
know you could get it.
Oh, you can, and it is. I think I could eat it if and only if I had to, right? And when I say that, I mean if I was left somewhere with Nutrient Loaf, And, like, I had some other options, but, like, I didn't really want to do anything else. Like, I could order a pizza, but I don't want to spend the money. Like, I could go to the store, but I don't really have the time. I would consider Nutrient Loaf.
I was expecting, like, I'm on a desert island and all my food is only Nutrient Loaf, not I'm too lazy to go to the store.
It's really, I mean, it's not good, right? It's not, but it is nothing.
It's not meant to be good.
I know, but that's the thing. I kind of like that. I like that it's just, like, the ideal food. Just like it's like a calorie mate.
Well, yeah, see, that's kind of like what like Soylent was supposed to be.
Yeah, but then they started making it out of people and Soylent is people. How many people do you think have not seen that movie?
Oh, I don't think I've seen that movie.
Really?
I just know the memes.
Oh, I hate that you said that like that. No, it's.
You're welcome.
Oh man, speaking of memes. That no one's going to see anymore. Vine's going away.
Yeah?
Hey, listen, my segue game is back, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
That was good.
It was
That was better than last week's. Hey, you know what's funny?
Yeah, you know what's funny? Nothing. The world is dead.
But yeah, Twitter, from what I understand, Twitter owns Vine.
Yeah, Twitter
Vine
bought...
is a subsidiary.
Yeah, Twitter bought Vine before Vine ever came to see the light of day. So Twitter has owned Vine for Vine's entire life.
And so now it's they're taking it down. They are getting rid of Vine, which is kind of unfortunate. Which is something I would rather. It would have been unfortunate like a couple years ago when Vine was relevant. But it kind of fell out of relevancy, and you can see that in its numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it was never really like a money maker anyway.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who got famous on it, but like, yeah, they didn't really. I feel like it was probably like kind of a zero-sum game because they would keep it up if they were making any money off.
Oh, I mean, the people on Vine were making money, but
you know, like Twitter itself, the entity that is Twitter. What I think this means is that Twitter's finally going to do their video thing, like they're going to do like a full-blown video platform. Because like that would make sense. Like they're taking away Vine. So people who are on Vine who already use Twitter, because like everyone fucking uses Twitter, will switch over to Twitter's video platform because they're trying to compete with YouTube. Which, first of all, good luck.
Yeah, at this point, I don't. I think that trying to compete with YouTube on proper full length video is kind of silly.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because YouTube is actually the second biggest search engine in the world. The second most used behind Google, which owns YouTube.
Yeah, an unstoppable juggernaut that owns the thing below it.
I wonder if we're gonna look back like we did with like the oil barons, like with like the Rockefellers and like the Carnegies, and we're gonna be like, oh my god, how do we let one person just run the show? Because Google really just runs the internet.
Yeah, but I'm all about Google.
Really?
Oh yeah, Google for president.
Can we please get a robot president? It would just be better than anything.
It's true.
Can we just like, oh look, I'm gonna run the numbers, beep boop bop.
See, but the thing about the reason that it was brought to light that like the oil barons and the whatever, the banking moguls, the people that owned everything, the reason that came to light as a problem is because of their shady business practices. But Google has been fairly above board, and you know they treat their employees well, and they're fairly
they're transparent.
Well, yeah, and you know everything that they do seems to be largely wholesome.
Yeah, but I guess the real question is like, are we safe? Are we good letting one entity kind of run the show? Because yeah, there are other contributors and other people who run the show, but really, when you're looking at the internet, it's Google. Google just, if anyone tries to stop Google, goodbye.
Yeah.
It's it's like, are we willing to put that much power into like one person's hands? And that brings me to my next segue. Speaking of big people fighting little people, you had a story that you mentioned to me, and I stopped you.
Yeah. Because
I wanted to hear it firsthand on the podcast.
So
I wanted to hear the full story.
I have this from a couple different sources, so can verify. Initially, I saw it shared by like NFL memes, the Facebook page.
The Facebook page, yeah.
Yeah, and it was it was lacking a couple of key details. Still funny, but basically a Pee-wee football team was trailing at the half of a game. And so the coaches went and found somebody that was just hanging around nearby, a grown man. The people on the field were, 13, 14. And found the person that they found, they suited him up and sent them onto the field.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. It was just some rando?
Just some rando, as far as I understand, yes.
It wasn't even like a parent, or, I mean, it might have been a parent, but like, what?
So the part that's slightly disappointing is that the person was, I believe, they said about 19 years old. But that's
okay, but
that's
still
that's a college student.
Yeah, I say in from 13 to 19 is a giant step, especially in like growth and like with puberty and all that. Like,
if you're a 19-year-old that actually plays football, you're playing college football.
Yeah, you're a college student. You're like a freshman or a sophomore.
So
holy shit.
Yeah. So
how did he look? Was he just short?
I don't know. I haven't seen a picture, but.
It's like the reverse of like like the kids who stand on each other's shoulders in an overcoat to go into a movie theater. It's like a guy like putting shoes on his knees and asking like to go on the water slide.
Yep,
like,
that's what I was just gonna say. So
like, no, I'm really this short.
Now, obviously, it wasn't. It was transparent enough that they were caught. Clearly.
Wow, weird. It's like 19-year-olds and 13-year-olds look nothing alike.
The team has been kicked out of the league.
Oh, well, that's kind of...
Well, yeah, it is.
Oh, those poor kids don't get to play anymore.
I mean, I don't know, maybe the kids will be, like, just shuffled
Pardoned?
around or something. But, like...
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a team, like, if it's one, like, league and they're all, like, with the same general area, they might get shuffled around. But those kids are going to have a fucking target on their back. Every time they talk to someone who's older than them, people will give them like sideways glances. They're getting try to play football.
I like to believe that all the kids on the team are like super in on it.
Oh my god!
The coach is
like,
all right,
get Chad. Yeah, get Chad. Yeah. He was really fast.
I like to imagine it was just like a large bully that used to just like he would hang around the park and like pick on these kids, and they're like, "Hey, coach, he's big. Go get him.
Go get Billy from down the street." He's like against a wall. He's got like a leather jacket on, looking like Joe Cool's. Put a fucking pack of cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve.
And now
fuck football.
The one question that I still had was, what position did they have him playing?
I hope they had him playing like. Oh, you know what? That's a good. Well, if he's any kind of. Where would you put him?
Running back.
You put him as well. Oh yeah. Okay, I guess that's the obvious.
Yeah, it's got to be right.
Yeah, I mean that's the only maybe like a tight end.
I guess, but why would you not just hand him the ball directly and let him step over the top of these children?
Well, like also, but you can't make it too up. I mean, clearly they got caught, but like, right, you have to have like a certain amount of like sneakiness to it. Like make him like drop a couple balls or like miss a couple plays or something. Like like go to the wrong hole or something.
To have been a fly on the wall.
I want to. Okay, so I've always asked this question to people. The time machine question. You find a time machine, you go into it, you can travel to any time period, but you can only look and watch. And I understand that, everything you watch, you change, but we're going to throw that away for a minute.
Sure.
And you get to witness 3 events in human history. Yeah,
that's all 3 of them.
I want to be on the visitor side, I want to be on the home side, and I want to be in the parking lot where they found the kid. That's my 3 places. I cannot... Because... I played Pee Wee football. You played Pee Wee football, didn't you? No, you didn't play.
Not 1 year.
Yeah. You played Pee Wee football, and like, oh my god, facing down a 19-year-old kid when I was like 13 would have been horrifying, and I mean like horrifying.
Yeah.
I wonder if this kid was like horrendously morally bankrupt and was just like, I'm gonna hit some 13-year-olds. Like,
of course he was.
Well, like, or it was like, hey, put this uniform on, we'll give you $20.
Let's put it this way. You're not that far removed, neither of us are, from being 19 years old.
Yeah.
If someone approached you when you were 19 and said, hey, put on these pads and this helmet and go run over some 13-year-olds.
Oh, I'd do it. I would do it real hard. I would do it now, probably.
See, I wouldn't because it's so obviously not above board. Like, That's gonna ruin your life. People are just gonna be like, "Wow, you're the guy that just ran over my 13-year-old."
Yeah, you just play it off like a joke and you move. Like that's what.
And you move, change your name, plastic surgery, change
no one's
your face.
gonna remember. No one's gonna search you down 10 years. Unless, wait, hang on though. But you could also create a supervillain by doing that. Like there's like a kid who's like an all-star. And, like, you smash him into the ground because you're 6 years older than he is, and you break his leg, and he becomes a supervillain.
I think the only way it could have been funnier is if it backfired and the kid was terrible.
Oh, my God. Like, they get a 19-year-old kid, but he's never played football. They just saw him. He looked kind of big. It's only because, like, his family's kind of, like, big. He, like, lifts weights, but, like, kind of, like, casually, like, recreationally.
Oh, I mean, I don't even care. I don't even care, like, what his durability is. I just wanted
No, I just want to think like they saw him, they're like, that kid can probably play football, and the kid has just never touched a football in his life. Like he's like, no, football, hell yeah. He's like a European exchange student. He's like, I fucking love football.
He thinks he's gonna go play soccer.
Yeah, you put him in the pads, he's like, this is weird, and then like you put him on the field, he's like, this is wrong.
Now the question I heard raised was, where'd they get the jersey?
Fat kid.
Fat kid's
jersey, yeah.
Sorry,
like real big,
fatty.
Like one of like the.
You're off
sorry,
the team.
fatty. Give us your shirt.
maybe that's what tipped off the officials, that there was just a shirtless fat kid on the sideline.
They took it. He's just wearing his his fucking his jock strap. He's just like sitting on the bench, cold and sad. Can I assume in my head during this game it's like raining and muddy and like cold.
Yeah, real gritty gridiron football.
Yeah, this poor fat kid. He's like real pale, freckles, red hair, like he's like the stereotypical like ginger kid. Like he's just like, hate football, and then you make him a supervillain, and there it is.
So, since we're just talking about the absurd, here's another one that I heard this week. I actually hadn't mentioned this to you before the podcast. I just totally forgot.
Oh boy, I was just looking at the notes. I'm like, where's he segueing?
No, for the first time, Google searches for memes have overtaken searches for Jesus.
Oh no, the country's dead. We're dead.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yep. It's not a great path we're headed down.
I want to kind of, now that we've brought up memes in general.
We've brought up memes several times.
Yeah, but like now it's official. We've called out that memes are now a subject. I have very mixed feelings about memes. I love them and I also hate them. I love them because they're funny, they're accessible, they're quick. Also, a part of me thinks they're the death of comedy. And when I say the death, I mean kind of think of it like a phoenix's death. Like it's dead and then it's reborn.
New humor will rise from the ashes of
memes.
Of
like real of memes. No. Memes are the new humor, rising from the ashes of actual comedy, quote unquote actual comedy.
But actual comedy still exists.
Right, sure. People still also do minstrel shows, but that's not really on Broadway. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, but you say like, stand-up comedy is still a viable thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, it definitely is. But, I mean, I think the culture in general, I think we consume, because of its, we've talked about this before, why, like, TV shows are more popular now. It's what's like movies. Even though movies are still very popular. Like, the whole Netflix, Hulu, HBO, like, revolution.
I also think that TV has a lot to do with the quality of it now, is movie quality.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're getting high, because, like, technology advances, so we have better quality stuff, and it's more accessible. Like you can just like sit down and watch like a 40, like that's why I like the Daredevil. I'm super into Daredevil, the Netflix series. When that comes out, I sit and I stop and I watch as much as I want to, and I can just leave it and come back to it. Like I'm like, okay, I have like an hour before class. I can't watch a whole movie, but I can sure as hell watch this episode of Daredevil. And I think it's very much that way with meme culture. I hate saying things like blank culture because it sounds really pretentious, but I like being pretentious.
I mean, especially when it's meme culture.
I know, just like the phrase, like my mouth gets kind of dry when I say it. Like I feel bad.
I just flush with embarrassment. Like shame.
My heart drops. Like when you realize you fucked up and you're just like, oh god. That's the feeling I feel every time I say the word meme culture. But yeah, I mean, I look at a lot of memes. Like I consume a lot of memes.
I'm glad that's on the record.
Let it be known. Anno Domini, year of our Lord, 10/28/16 at 4:50 p.m. Eastern Standard. Brendan fucking loves memes.
You heard it here first.
Heck Media exclusive. What I like about memes is I really like the postmodern, ironic, shitty memes. The ones that are like intentionally bad and just like awful. Like not supposed to be. The thing about them that make them funny is how ridiculously poorly they're made.
Yeah, so like anti-jokes that have existed
Yeah,
yeah.
It's the evolution of the anti-joke. The ironic, like, hey, you make like a banana and leave. Like, you know, like... Or like, it's like a dad joke. I think ironic, shitty meme jokes are like the evolution of dad jokes.
I think you should call your father right now and apologize for equating dad humor to this shithole fest.
I think dad humor is very much like, it's very meme format. It's just like the same joke in different settings over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, my dad, everyone has like their dad stories. Like their dads tell the same stories like every year. Like, oh, Christmas time, you're going to hear the story about the one time he was on a road trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you.
And memes are very much the same format where it's like, look, it's, what's one of the big ones right now? Is that Arthur one still funny?
I don't know.
Do people still think that's funny?
I don't know.
Whatever. Insert name of meme here. I'll edit that in. But, you know, it's like the same joke, but like, oh, we changed the nouns. Or, you know, we changed the scene.
Yeah.
I hate memes.
Yeah, I hate you for talking about them.
Oh, man. Speaking of some hot memes, Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
My new favorite football player.
Yeah, cartoon character Rob Gronkowski.
So, for reference, let's talk about Gronkowski for a minute. Gronkowski is a tight end for the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, he just hit a franchise record of 68 touchdowns in a season.
In his career.
In his career,
season. Oh
obviously.
my god!
Yeah, oh my
he's
god,
a
never mind.
monster.
So
he's not.
After I said that, I realized how stupid it was, but I realized I couldn't take it back, and now it's recorded forever.
Yeah, it is.
Let it be known, 452.
Anno Domini.
Anno Domini. I'm an idiot. So, 68 in a career.
Yeah,
now,
for a tight end specifically.
So he got interviewed.
Yeah, post-game interview. The reporters asked him how he felt about breaking the franchise record, and you know, so how'd you feel about scoring your 68th touchdown, Rob Gronkowski? And his response was something along the lines of, "Well, that'll mean the next one's 69."
Oh my god, he's a hero. He is a hero. He's the hero that America needs.
He is.
Make America Gronkowski again.
He is what is good about football.
He just, and the way you described it to me, he just like, I imagine him in my head, and you use the perfect analogy. Like in Wacky Races, Muttley, Dick Dastardly's dog, does that fucking laugh.
The little shit-eating laugh.
Oh my! I imagine he looked directly at the camera, and then there was like a fade to black.
I believe he also called the reporter baby.
Hey, baby!
It was a
69.
male reporter. He says the next one's gonna be 69, if you know what I mean, baby.
I need to find this interview and just put it on loop in my entire house.
He is a cartoon character.
Rob Gronkowski, Player of the Week. Which is a new segment we're going to be starting. Every week we're going to pick a new athlete from any sport, doesn't matter.
And it's going to be Gronk every week.
And it's going to be Rob Gronk. He has paid millions of dollars. And he just went on TV.
If we're going to make this a segment, can I do a retroactive one? Because I got one.
Oh, yes.
So, you know the Key and Peele, right? The show that they did?
Yeah, I love Key and Peele, yeah.
They did a sketch where it was like the excessive celebration flag.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, you can do 2 pumps but not 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Antonio Brown, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe week 1 or week 2, replicated that celebration and was in fact flagged for it.
Oh my god, you're joking.
Oh,
he really got flagged for it. It's sometimes you can't write this shit. You cannot write this shit. This is why your writers just get mad when someone's funny, when things happen. Anecdote, Parks and Rec. I assume you're familiar.
Yeah.
With the giant hit TV show.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Chris Pratt is the funniest man on the planet. He is really, really good at improving stuff. And the writers, he was actually not supposed to be in the show more than the first couple episodes of the first season. He was supposed to go away. They actually had to write him into the show after that, which is why nothing he does matters.
And now he's
until like the third season. And now he's Star-Lord. But the writers used to be so mad because they'd be like, I can't write anything funnier than he can just come up with. Like, the script would just say, like, and Chris Pratt does some stuff.
Yeah?
Like,
I can see how that would work, though.
And, he's brilliant. But 69. Man makes millions of dollars, gets on TV, and makes a 69 joke.
He is arguably the most talented at his position ever.
And hilarious.
Yeah, and it's just what it... You don't even have to think about it.
That's butter. That's just like...
Have I ever talked to you about his cruise?
His what?
He had a cruise during the off-season.
Like a cruise as in like a boat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gronkowski family cruise, where people could buy tickets to go on a cruise ship with the Gronkowski family. And, you know, there's a lot of space on those cruise ships. Thousands of people can fit on them. They sold maybe half the tickets. And the other half were sold to the public, unknowing that this was the Gronk boat.
Wait a minute. So they sold half the tickets, and they're like, shit, we need to sell these other tickets, and then they just opened up for anyone?
Well, because the cruise line reserved all the tickets, but if they weren't sold by X date, they were just going to sell them to the public. But the cruise line didn't tell the public that this is the Gronk boat.
Yeah. Why haven't I heard about this?
I have no idea, because it's just... Every image that runs through my head is just like Rob Gronkowski up on a stage chugging beers and just
ride the train.
Some poor old lady just sitting at a table wishing that she could just enjoy her cocktails and shuffleboard.
Right, there's this old ass lady who's like, oh man, I've saved up my Social Security and I'm going with the ladies. We're going one last trip before we croak. And you're on the fucking Gronk Express
you're on the
to
Gronk
Partyville.
Boat. Woo!
Do you know where it was charted for? Like where to go?
No. I mean, it was
around.
Yeah, well, it was probably like Bahamas or something.
Yeah,
you know,
like one of the tropical, like an
launch
island.
from Florida and go that way.
Come on, ride the train. Gronkowski.
God, he's just a
That's
hero.
him singing karaoke drunk at his own party. That's
the man's a hero.
So, all right, one other big thing happened in football this week, and it has nothing to do with the game of football. Tell me a little bit about the Redskins.
Yeah, the Washington Redskins have a new scandal aside from being named after a racial slur. Their new scandal is that their special teams coach apparently has a kitten bladder and can't contain himself. So he was caught on the sideline by a Lions fan, who they were playing, taking a little whiz in a Gatorade cup.
He was peeing on the sideline.
So now this son of a bitch now has pictures on the internet of his penis because he couldn't hold.
My God!
Yeah.
I gotta ask. Is his skin red?
I haven't.
Is his penis red?
I haven't actually seen the pictures.
I saw. Because why would you?
I saw one or two safe for work pictures because there's a few.
And he didn't even surround himself with people before taking the whiz.
Nope.
He's just out in the open.
Well, he's
peeing.
like from the one that's work safe, or the couple that are work safe. He's like behind one of the like equipment carts.
Mm-hmm.
But from a different angle, you could see it.
You see his Johnson.
Plain as day.
Sorry. Oh my God. You fucking.
But now apparently, all this information that I got is courtesy of the Le Batard show.
I love the Le Batard show.
Yeah. This next upcoming information is courtesy of the Levitard show. So they talked about the guy peeing in a cup on their show briefly, and I found out that a former coach, I can't remember which coach it was, some line coach or something, years ago, got a game ball from Coach Bill Belichick for getting away unscathed for pooping on the sideline.
What?
Yep, took a poop in a bucket.
They don't have outhouses?
The porta potties? No, like you can just
like,
go back into the locker room.
Well, right, but like if someone really needs to go, I want to see the Redskins' response, and I hope it's this: they put like a urinal on their sideline.
They already have a urinal on their sideline. It's called the team.
Is that why the cake isn't sweet? It's a toilet cake.
It's a urinal cake.
The Redskins are not good.
No, they haven't been good long time.
Who they playing? You said they were playing the Lions?
That particular week.
So the most noteworthy thing in that game was a guy peeing.
Maybe the most noteworthy thing in the whole football week.
Yeah, what is it with football this year and just not being good?
It's a symptom of many things. They put out a poll actually recently, and apparently it came back that the biggest reason people aren't watching is because of the Colin Kaepernick protests. But I think that's bullshit. I think it's actually just because the games suck.
Yeah, I usually watch football. I'm not gonna say religiously because it's never been my number one sport, but I do like to watch a lot of games. Like I just like to watch like 2 games a week just because I like football. I like watching it. I like getting some beers, some bros, and watching football. Adult man things. So, but this season I just haven't been watching at all.
Yeah, the product is diminished, and it's hard to pinpoint why. But there's I complained on a podcast a few weeks ago, I think when I don't know who the Broncos were playing, but it's not exciting to watch a guy throw for 3 yards when he needs 10, and you know complete ball, great, you need 8 more yards, sorry bud, turnover.
Yeah, it's very, small. Like we were talking earlier, small ball fundamentals, all that stuff is necessary for winning games.
They're trying.
Like that's a good way to play the game. However,
but they're trying way too hard to be safe with the ball.
That's what it is. You gotta take. Well, the thing is, because in the NFL there's so much money going around. It is like, isn't it the most money in sports?
I would wager that soccer internationally is more.
I mean, in the U.S.
In the U.S., I'm pretty sure that, NFL is the...
It's got to be the NFL, because I don't think anyone else brings in the kind of money the NFL does. I know MLB doesn't.
I can say this for a fact. Even though the ratings are down for the NFL this year, they're down for the NFL. You still have the World Series games aren't drawing what a Sunday Night Football game is.
Yeah, as a huge baseball fan, I have just not been watching the World Series.
Oh, but I don't care. I didn't mean that as an indictment to the World Series. I just meant that.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Also, baseball's boring now too.
Yeah, baseball. Although baseball's so random that.
It's
hard to not be boring sometimes, because some days you'll have just games where the same lineup can go. The whole lineup will bat 500, and then the next game they'll get completely shut out, no hitter.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and I mean I love baseball, but I think it's a flaw with a lot of. I think every week we talk about why sports as an entertainment medium doesn't always match up with the sport, because playing safe and doing stuff like that. Like sometimes you gotta take risks, but for the most part, in your normal typical season game, you're going to be making the smart plays. There's no reason you don't get a lot more money from throwing a real far pass. Really, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Wins get you money, and esteem gets you money. So
yeah, but it's going to have to take a turn at some point, because if the product keeps diminishing, then the ratings will keep diminishing, and the money won't be rolling in to be handed out.
Exactly, and I think that's completely valid, and that's my point. That at some point it's going to tip. The scales are going to tip, and it's going to be. Something's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting. Baseball's at that point right now. where we got a lot of new young guns coming, and the game is starting to get younger.
You want an interesting baseball stat?
Yes.
Okay, so the Cleveland Indians won their championship series to get to the World Series. Mm-hmm. Do you want to take a guess what the team batted for the whole series?
I'm guessing they batted .275.
Okay, so you would think, fairly average, but, good enough to win a series.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what the number was?
Oh, God, yeah.
163.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
That was their team average?
Yep.
163?
Yep. And actually, that was ballooned by one guy batting 300.
Oh, my good golly fuck. That's what I'm saying, like... This is why the Mets are one of my favorite teams in baseball, because they have a lot of good personalities. They got like Bart, and they got like Syndergaard. They got Wright when he was still playing. They've always had faces and names. You got like Dwight Gooden, Gary Carter. All like the 85, 86 season Mets. Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, and so. Watching the Mets play, it's much more I'm watching the players than I'm watching the game itself. Because if I just worried about the wins losses of the Mets, I would try to kill myself every season.
Yeah, I heard an interesting thing, like an interesting take on following teams. If getting to a championship is your expectation every year, you're going to be miserable most years.
Yeah, because realistically, 2 teams make it.
You have to know where to set the bar.
Yeah, so Mets went postseason this year. I was so hyped. I'm like, we got to go post. That's where we're going. Last year, we went all the way to the World Series. Shit's not going to happen for another 30 years, so let's.
Yeah, my bar this year was playoffs. Didn't quite make it, but it made for an exciting run-up because my high ceiling of expectations was get to the playoffs. We were, 4 games away, so, it made for a few months of exciting, will we, won't we make it?
Yeah, and that's if you're not having fun watching sports, do something else. Don't feel obligated to watch sports.
Yeah, for the first time...
Or do anything for that matter. Never feel obligated to do something if you don't... Like a hobby, if you don't think it's fun.
Yeah,
it's cool to drop a hobby.
I, for the first time in years, didn't watch Thursday Night Football at all. I didn't even try.
Yeah, right. It's just didn't even turn it on. You're
Jags, Titans? No thanks.
Pass. Passing. Basketball season started.
Basketball season is started. That was pretty weak because you also could have used that for any other sport.
Which I'm going to start. That's going to be my segue into all sports conversations.
Passes. Soccer.
Passing, passes. Passes to go see NASCAR. Indy 500.
Basketball started. And it started with... my favorite team, the Spurs, absolutely dominating the Golden State Warriors at their home.
This is my first year following basketball. I'm following the Washington Wizards.
I don't know why.
Because I will tell you exactly why. I played NBA Live 99 on the N64 all the time as a kid. It was one of my favorite games, and I always picked the Wizards because Wizards are cool. And so...
Man, I'm telling you, you're really squandering an opportunity. You really...
What?
When you get into a sport, and as somebody who is a relatively novice sports fan, I made a big mistake when I started watching football. And, I leaned in hard to the Rams, and I goofed. So when I started watching basketball, I learned from that, and I took a team that I liked as a child and thought, let me see if they're actually still good. Yeah, and they are.
Well, see, I'm starting with them. I can't say I'm not going to flip-flop 18,000 times during this season alone. I'm going to wait till there's, one thing that makes me switch to another team. There's always going to be something.
See, with basketball...
with football, I flip-flop every year because I'm I don't know. My parents are, diehard Giants fans. I grew up in a Giants house. Most of my family are Broncos fans because we got a lot of them from, Colorado. And... I just always flip-flop. And the Mets have always been standard. I am a Mets fan, period. I am not ever going to change that because that is who I am. Which is a good reason. It's because I said so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's a good reason.
Basketball provides an interesting chance where, when you're watching a football game and most of the players are fairly interchangeable, doesn't really, aside from, the quarterback And, there's a couple positions that matter a lot. But most places you could kind of just switch anybody in there and it'll be largely the same.
Yeah.
Basketball, just think of all 5 guys on the court are quarterback importance. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, and if you find a team where there's just one really fun guy to watch, even if they're terrible, it makes for fun basketball. But
I pick the Monstars.
Yeah, but the Wizards don't even have that one guy.
Well, how do we know yet? We don't know yet. They did okay in the preseason.
Yeah, the preseason.
They were over 500.
The preseason.
I'll take it. They lost their first game. It was 99-114 or something like that, which is, that's fine. That's fine, I guess.
Let me tell you something about the preseason. The Miami Heat absolutely decimated the Spurs at the Spurs in the preseason.
Uh-huh.
And then the Spurs, did what they did on the first actual game. Because preseason.
Oh, yeah. I'm not trying to buy into the preseason meme. I think preseason games are largely meaningless for the actual season. I mean, they're important, but they're not... don't look at preseason.
They're more important for getting the players in shape than they are for actually measuring the talent of a team.
Exactly, yeah. Because, there's so many factors that go into a game that aren't just, that you don't get in preseason because it's preseason. You're automatically dividing it from the season, so it's a different mindset going in. I'm just excited to be looking for a new team and actually giving a shit.
Yeah.
Because I've never in my adult life had to search for a new team. And now I get to do it in a sport that I know nothing about.
It's fun.
Not that I know nothing about. I know minimal. I know all of the rules and that you can monster dunk if you get a full meter, and you can do a fiery They do that, right? They have meters.
Yeah,
I assume.
Yeah. You can see them.
They're right above their heads.
Yeah. It's like the first down lines in football. It's added on the screen.
Yeah, it's there. I was watching a game. I think it was last season, last football season, and one of my roommates, not a big sports guy, he asked, he's like, how do they get a line on the field so fast every time? I just kind of looked at him, I'm like, that's not on the, it's not on the field. He's like, what?
So
how do they know? I'm like, the first down markers? And he's like, the what? And I had to and I realized, I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of things in sports I just take for, especially when I watch baseball.
Yeah. And
they do something going into the shift in baseball, right? If you're watching that as a layman, you're like, what the hell? They're putting this giant hole right there. I'm like, they're like, yeah, but that's the point. They don't need to be there.
Yeah. Strategy.
Exactly, yeah. And so
let me just tell you something that illustrates what basketball is. And how wildly important one person can be and still have a team be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a young player named Anthony Davis. He plays for the New Orleans Pelicans. Terrible team.
What a mascot.
Yeah, what a mascot. Terrible team. Anthony Davis.
Pelicans,
I think it was last night or the night before. He scored over 50 points.
Holy shit.
I believe 15 rebounds. 5 assists, 5 steals, and 4 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible stat line. That's almost out of this world. You'll see that a couple times a season.
Right. We'll be watching for the aliens to come down to take his powers.
They lost.
You know what?
Not by a point. It wasn't a buzzer beater. It lost by 10 points.
So it's just the last quarter. It's in quarters, right?
Yes.
That sounds. That makes
it
a
is
stupid
in quarters.
Question. I have not watched basketball since I was 12.
Four 12-minute quarters.
Yeah. The games aren't super long either. How long does a normal basketball game last?
A couple hours. Think football, but a little bit faster, I guess.
But not baseball.
2.5. Well, baseball's a crapshoot. Baseball, you can have a 3-hour game or you can have a 5-hour game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the importance of your team. The importance of friendship. Basketball is a practice in the importance of friendship.
Yeah, that stat I gave you, the baseball stat that I gave you, just illustrates how baseball is nutty. In the World Series, in a World Series game that generated a total of 6 runs, there was 60 pitches thrown for every 1 run scored. 4 hours, 4 minutes.
Oh my god. That's I love baseball. Every time I talk to anyone about baseball, I feel like I go over it in my head. I'm like, no, you like baseball. Like, but that's the thing. I think in order to like anything, you have to be able to look at it objectively and be like, hey, this is a kind of a problem. Games should not take 4 hours. If I walked into a movie theater and went to go see a 3-hour movie and it took 4.5 hours because someone was bumbling around with the projector, I'd be mad. But at the same time, you kind of also have to look at that going in. Like, you go into baseball knowing, like, this could, like, my night is set. Like, when I like, go to the bar for baseball games, my bartender buddy down at one of the bars in town, Dave, he loves me because I will stay till the game is over. And I will keep ordering drinks until the game is over. Like, we'll do, like, certain nights, like, the Mets will be playing, there'll be, like, a beer special. I'm like, just, if you see that I have an empty glass and I'm still here, fill it.
I hate to break it to you, he only loves you for your money.
Listen, he can, sometimes you gotta be someone's sugar daddy. You gotta do that for him. You gotta go to the bar. And I tip him real well because I get real drunk during Mets games.
Yeah, so you tip him really well for tolerating you.
No, one week he was off his shift and I was talking to him because he's a Mets fan. So he always gets the Mets on one of the screens.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking about it one day, and it was great. It was a good conversation with a Mets fan. Because I don't get to talk about baseball where I am. Like, there's nobody likes baseball here. It's all hockey.
Yeah,
I'm going to a hockey game tonight, which is, school's playing one of our rivals tonight, so I've got to go. For context, I write for the sports page of our school newspaper, so I have to go to the hockey game.
Yeah, I feel like I've said it before on a podcast, but you're a cheating whore.
I am. I write for a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's so if you're ever wondering why he hasn't put out content for us.
Oh, listen, you whore. You dirty whore.
Man, just calling you out.
This week I was sick. I'm just getting over being sick.
Wah.
So, sick of your shit is what I'm saying.
Me too.
It's true, yeah. It's true. It's true. I'm a whore, and I don't care about Heck Media. This is my ultimate rebellion. We started something, and now I'm just destroying it on purpose. It's like a masochism thing. Yeah, it's like I'm doing that crush card virus meme. That hot take. Let's go from talking about football to Yu-Gi-Oh TV shows.
Yeah,
let's do that.
I mean, they're both equally like nerdy and lame at this point, right?
I like that sports culture is seen as not nerdy, but it is one of the nerdiest cultures.
Oh my god, yeah, you're memorizing names and stats and numbers and like it's like whole thing. It's the same culture.
Oh yeah, and there's collectible cards.
Yeah,
wear costumes. Like people will shit on it.
Yeah,
you're wearing a costume.
No, I know. I love the referring to a jersey or a uniform as a costume because it's accurate.
It's accurate. Listen, and I grew up. We both grew up like doing the like costumes and conventions things, and but we also like wore sports stuff.
Not me so much until recently, but I said, novice sports fan, relatively for 4 years or so that I've actually started watching sports.
Yeah, and it's just like seeing the parallels being part of both cultures is just it's a hoot. It's a hoot. Anytime I see like the tailgating, that's just a convention.
Yeah, I really enjoy each side looking down on each other because they absolutely do.
Oh yeah, nerds are like, why would I watch sweaty men touch each other for 4 hours?
Yeah, proudly hating something. Actually, this brings us back to my my article, I guess.
Oh hey, full circle, yeah, we did it.
Proudly hating something is a fucking childish and ignorant thing to do.
Like, look at me. I hate this. Aren't I cool yet, Dad?
Learn about something. Fucking just accept that other people like different things. Stop liking what I don't like.
Stop liking what I don't like is, oh my god. I don't know if you remember this kid. There was a kid. We went to elementary school together. There was a kid. I cannot remember his fucking name. But remember when we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Mm-hmm. And he used to come over and talk about how much he hated Yu-Gi-Oh, how much he loved Magic.
I don't remember.
Do you remember this kid? I want to say his name was like Devin, or it started with a D. Dennis.
I don't think we ever went to school with a Dennis.
Whatever. But you get
the other ones, yeah. The other two names I at least recognize as people we went to school with, but
I can't remember. Yeah, but it was elementary school, and we used to play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards out during recess because live the dream.
Can I tell you real quick where my mind went when you said Dennis?
The Menace?
No, I pictured Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Just a full-grown man approaching two children like, man, I fucking hate Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys should start playing Magic.
Magic is better. Right, like, stop liking what I don't like. It's this mindset. Like you said, it's very childish. Like, people are going to like what they're going to like. You know, and if it's not, like, hurting people, like, if my favorite thing to do is choking people with plastic bags, yeah, okay. Like, don't do that.
Let's put this stipulation. If it's not hurting people, or if it's only hurting people who want to be hurt.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, if we're getting into, like, the more unscrupulous things.
Yeah.
Hey, it's getting a little sexual in here. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if the intention is to maliciously damage.
Yeah.
Malicious damage is your intent, you are an asshole. But if I want to sit in my room and just look at snow globes all day... Don't tell me how much you dislike snow globes. Which is something I do. That's my new hobby, by the way.
Oh,
I drink a whole bottle of NyQuil and I look at snow globes.
We actually brought this back to sports. If you'll allow me to make a point.
Yep.
There was a post-game interview where a player named Hassan Whiteside, he plays for the Miami Heat. He was asked about his hobbies, and he said, "One of my hobbies is fish."
wait, like pet fish.
Yeah.
Like aquariums.
Because he has a big, rich guy mansion aquarium.
Uh-huh.
But like
one of my
hobbies is fish.
My hobby is also fish. Like when you said that, I thought like fishing. Like I had to go through the Rolodex of fish related activities.
Yeah.
Like, does he own a boat?
My hobby is snow globe.
My hobby is codeine.
Yeah, I thought when I first heard it, I thought he meant fishing. Like I thought he said fishing. No, fish.
My hobby is fish.
Fish.
My hobby is a fish.
Fish.
Oh wait, like a fish?
No, like he didn't know. He was like thinking about it. My hobby is fish.
Like he just was going through all the things in his head that he has in his house.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, what do I got? I got Xbox. No, that's kind of nerdy. I really like Nicolas Cage movies. Oh, fish. Fish. Shit, that wasn't a hobby. Like, I just, when they do like the post game interviews and because they're every player is coached on how to deal with the media.
Yeah. So
they don't say something stupid so the franchise doesn't get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the training for that because I love watching guys screw that up and say something like fish like they weren't ready.
Actually,
I imagine like for like sportscasters, like interviewers, it is the best when you get someone to screw up.
So I have 2 points on that. One is if you have ever seen the HBO series Hard Knocks.
I have not.
I watched one season of it. Not this year's, but the previous year's, I believe, was the one that was following the Texans. And there actually was an episode where they had like a rookie seminar of like, hey, if I ask you this, what's your response?
Oh my god, I need to watch that.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was just a little inside baseball or inside football.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did.
I had to. But then the other point is my favorite team, the Spurs basketball team. Their coach, Greg Popovich, is he's a snarky piece of shit. Like he's a real asshole.
Oh, good.
But people will always ask him really stupid questions because he'll never give you an answer to anything. Always answers. Like if they ask you like, hey, what can you do better in the next half? He'll be like, we'll play basketball.
Like, oh well, sometimes the players and the ball, hoops matter. We got to get points. I think the big thing is we need to play the game.
No, but see, like, he doesn't go that far. He just says one thing, like, hey, why do you think the team out rebounded you in the first half? Well, they got more rebounds. So people will just always tail him off by like asking him about like, hey, did you hear that the polling for the election went this way today? And he's like, oh, really? Because like he actually like gets interested in the completely not basketball stuff.
He's like, oh, hey, because like they're gonna ask him like even the questions like, why do you think the other team got more rebounds? Like because they were closer to the fucking ball.
Yeah, because they
jumped first.
They grabbed the ball first.
Yeah, I think it was a player from Yale, the basketball player from Yale. they were asked that question, like, like how many rebound, like how did the team like get more rebounds than you guys did? Like, well, you see,
well, you
man,
jump up.
You do a rebound by jumping up and getting the ball after it's shot. They did that more than we did, or like something along those lines.
Yeah, I think I heard that interview.
Oh my god, I laughed for like 3 whole minutes. I just couldn't stop laughing because I kept showing people. I'm like, just rebounds. He just described what a rebound was to this fucking news reporter. Like,
yeah, snarky sports star is pretty much the best. Like, that's why you love Gronkowski. That's why you love your Popoviches. It's just people that are just going to be totally either inept on purpose or just assholes. It's great.
I think that's the best part of any entertainment medium now. We've moved so far into humanism where we're looking at the individuals now instead of seeing them as like a team, right? So we're much more interested in the individuals in all things: actors, writers, singers, athletes, and so now we get to see like real glimpses of real life people. Like, like Gronkowski. He's just a dude. He's just duding around, doing his dude thing, making 69 jokes and playing football for a living. What a guy.
What a guy.
Like, and then you have people are starting to be themselves in the media. And I can't, well, we're coming up on time. Probably gonna cut it off here, but, final note. Fucking love Rob Gronkowski. Gronkowski, Player of the Year.
Player of the Week every week. Get ready for next week's Rob Gronkowski moment.
I'm going to see if on my NFL app I can follow him as a player specifically. And I'm not going to become a Patriots fan. I'm going to become a Rob Gronkowski fan.
I've been a Rob Gronkowski fan for a long time.
I'm going to get a Gronkowski jersey. I've done it. I'm trying to figure out what jersey I want to get for football. It's going to be a Gronkowski jersey.
Oh, you like the Patriots? No, I like Gronkowski. He makes 69 jokes and spikes the ball real hard.
he likes pounding beers and going on fucking boat trips with his family. What a guy. I'd love to all this like come out and then like Gronkowski he doesn't drink. We're just kind of projecting that onto him.
He actually didn't drink on the cruise.
Really?
Yeah, because he was being like responsible for because he was like proctoring events and stuff.
Oh. Well, I do important things all the time, and I drink.
Also, what
makes him so good? I'm not a Rob Gronkowski fan anymore.
Let me present to you the duality of Rob Gronkowski. He has never spent a dime of his contract money.
What?
He lives off of his endorsements and saves his contract money. Smart with money. 69 jokes.
That's my favorite kind of person. Like someone who is like a fully put together person, like does smart things, saves his money, does cool stuff for his family and his fans and all that stuff, and then goes on TV and makes a 69 joke.
Rob Gronkowski,
and calls some dude
athlete.
babe.
Yep.
He's the best.
Yep.
Can we make the Gronkowski of Heck, the Vestibule of Rob Gronkowski?
Someday, I hope we get big enough.
The weekly Gronk.
Someday, I hope we get big enough that we can interview Rob Gronkowski.
I would stop living. I would kill myself because I would hit. That's apex. Like, you don't leave the table when your chips are gone. You leave when you're doing well so you can stop and make money.
That's everything that I've ever dreamed of.
That is it. I have 2 dream interviews in my life now. The first one is Rob Gronkowski. The second one is Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. Those are my 2. If I can interview 2 people, period, that'd be it.
Man, we have so much more, but we should probably wrap it up. We're almost
we're hitting the hour mark pretty soon. All right. Do we have anything else? We're just wrapping up. We're heading out.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I could talk for another hour, but nobody wants to hear that.
Right. Well, when we do that 1 week of podcasts every day.
We're doing a Rob Gronkowski podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we are, and we're just gonna get Rob Gronkowski sound bites.
Yep.
And called the Gronkcast, the Gronkowski.
So now
it's real hard to say.
So now that they've heard it 2 weeks in a row, it's actually probably gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, now it's gonna happen. Damn it, that's so much work.
Yeah, you buried yourself, buddy.
That's fine. I will stand on this hill and bury myself in sadness and work. Speaking of sadness and work, it's time for us to go.
Yeah.
Sigh.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Vestibule of Heck, Ep.5. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Mitchell.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks for listening.